Ah, so, how is everybody today on this glorious Monday? And, hi, how you? How's it going? This is the D. Louise book series. This is where we read books and talk about books. No special effects going on here. Just reading books and talking books. And Fridays we do Star Trek Next Gen recaps. We also do If Then on Fridays. If you like this author, then maybe you like that author. And on Mondays we do Romantic Time book review. Hopefully giving you new authors and new books to look forward to reading and new book series to already get into. And don't forget my daily book reviews. We are doing J.R. Ward right now. James Patterson's Alex Cross series, and Victoria Thompson's Sarah Brandt Gaslight series, and whatever book, a new book I can pick up in between. I'm reading books every single day. I'm doing videos every single day. If you think about it, I have eight videos, 8 new videos a week, plus 7 shorts, sometimes 8 shorts a week. So that's like 15 or 16 videos a week. And nobody is watching. Nobody is watching. I'm doing this all for myself. Yes, ma'am. Aren't you just the cutest? Isn't that my baby? So settle in. We are going to talk about my favorite magazine in the whole wide world. This one has 287 book reviews. It does romantic historicals, contemporary romance, inspirationals, mystery, sci-fi, paranormals, harlequins, and erotica. And I think I'm going to shoot the wind today and see how many we can do. Are you anxious? This is July 10th. And Shanna Abe, the Time Weaver, is on the cover. And we will talk about these later on. Heather Graham and Nancy Bush. And back in the day, like you have Comic-Con conventions, we used to have book conventions. And we also will talk about Shanna Aba slaying the dragons. I wanted to explore the notion of what it might be like to accidentally learn something about your future self that was so awful that it was simply unbelievable, and yet it was destined to become absolutely true. What would you risk to change your fate? Yes, ma'am. Come here. Come here. What? Come here. There she is. Now remember, I can't do too much with my computer because it's being held together by a binder clip. The bottom fell out from the top. Where was I? Author Shanna Abe poses this question, setting the stage for the 5th and potentially final installment of her New York Times best-selling Drakon series from Batten. Released last month, The Time Weaver, which got a top pick in the June issue, pits the kind-hearted heroine against her future evil-doing self. Sound intriguing? Well, that just skims the surface of the central timeline romance. Drakon society is hidden for a good reason, Abe explains. Human beings would be horrified to discover a tribe of beautiful monsters walking about their midst. Drakons have been hunted throughout history, but there is a special group of humans who have allied specifically to kill off the last of the Drakon. and their leader turns out to be, in fact, a Drakon herself, Honor Carlyle. Honor was born with the gift of being able to weave through time, something no other dragon has done. She's a young woman throughout most of the story, and as young woman, she's funny, kind, and good. But the future Honor is none of those things. She is, in fact, quite believably evil. So an important part of the exploration of her character was to discover how that happened to her, to see if there's anything her younger self can do to prevent it. Wouldn't you like to go back in time and change major mistakes? An excerpt from The Time Weaver. I was quiet. I'd been so quiet. I was a mouse. I was a mote of dust, but he'd heard me anyway, or smelled me, or sensed me. I certainly sensed him. I sensed him across my skin, the delicious goose pickles he roused within the timbre of his voice, the scent of him, the dark night and spice and unpolished diamonds, the way the colors of him seemed to lap up the light, deep blue soaking in his hair, golden in his skin, and those eyes, flat, clear mirror eyes, pale and empty, as they captured time across the chamber. I left the shadows that shielded me. He'd addressed me directly. He was looking straight at me. It was stupid to cower. Prince Alexandru hadn't moved from his chair, his body long and lean, his legs outstretched and feet crossed at the ankles. He wore boots even indoors. He wore a silk shirt with a pearled buttons and a waistcoat of charcoal brocade, breeches of supple soft leather. Everything about him breathed power, pleasure, luxury, control. I envied him the control. There wasn't any hint of emotion on his face. I knew my own would reveal every little fear that bit of me. You are not a child tonight, he said. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. The more the merrier. A huge trend in erotica books, in especially in the Mary Gentry books and in Laurel books, was polygamy, multiple partners. There's probably several thousand books, 100 million books out there with menage a trois as the plot line for those. They have some regular ones in here. David Ebershaft, The 19th Wife, The Sister Wife by Diane Noble, The Hidden Wives by Claire Avery, Fern Michaels, Under the Radar, The Sister Wife, Shelby Helderkshee, and Tess Gerritsen, Ice Cold. Oh, here they are. Claire Avery, Hidden Wives, Michelle Dominguez Green, Keep Sweet, David Eberhoff, The 19th Wife, Tess Gerritsen, Ice Cold, Shelley Herdlichka, The Sister Wife, Fern Michaels, Under the Radar, Diane Noble, The Sister Wife, and Carol Lynch Williams, The Chosen One. They're all pictured up there at the very, very top. And we'll also talk about this book. Still Missing Chevy Stevens. What's up, Doc? Is Still Missing Chevy Stevens' debut out this month from St. Martin's. Annie O'Sullivan is a struggling realtor on Vancouver Island, abducted from an open house. She is kept in a remote cabin for a year by a man she refers to as the Freak. Each chapter is a session with her therapist in which Annie talks about her imprisonment, the psychological and physical abuse she endured, her eventual escape, and the police investigation to Freak's identity and motives. Although the events that play out back in the cabin and after Annie's back are often grim and frightening, Stevens never crosses into gratuitous or salacious violence or sex. This might have been the same time as that girl was taken way back when. Nonfiction pick of the month. I Hate to Cook book. July may be grilling season, but it's definitely not the time of year to turn on your oven. In other words, it's the perfect month to re-release the 1960s American classic by Peg Bracken, the I Hate to Cook book. Bracken, who died in '07, worked full-time as an ad exec and ran a household in the '60s. In her cookbook, she provided kitchen shortcuts galore, mostly of the just-add condensed soup variety for the busy housewife who'd rather grab a cocktail, read a juicy mystery, and make stay-a-bed stew than slave over her pot of few. In addition to the quick and easy recipes, Bracken infused her tomb with wicked wit and charm, creating what the Atlanta Journal-Constitution called a little mid-century classic we'd hate to be without. Then they also talk about Clara Silverstein's A White House Garden Cookbook, Healthy Ideas from the First Family. Oh, and I had all these, and I sort of want them back. So if anybody wants to give me some of these, I had all of them, and all brand spanking new condition and original covers. But I gave them away, and now I regret giving them away. So let's get to it. Oh, there's a huge section here on teen books. I thought we'd check on that. Forever Loving, Forever Young Adult. A lot of people read teen books even as adults. I know a lot of adults that read kids' books too. It used to be back in the day, when we were walking to school miles in the snow, uphill both ways, that teens snuck adult books. Now quite the opposite is true, as adults are diving headfirst into the flourishing young adult market. For this role reversal, we've got to blame boys in particular, whose names are already quite familiar: Harry Potter and Edward Cullen. I hadn't paid much attention to the youth adult novels until the Harry Potter craze, which threw the door open to YA for adults. Twilight. You can't have an adult fiction feature without mentioning the juggernaut of a series which came out of left field to steamroll girls everywhere and their moms into a frenzy. That was the thing. Everyone loved to read about Harry Potter, but moms and daughters the world over loved Edward. Edward got the attention of the Collins clan. Amberly really got into the Twilight series, as did millions of other girls her age. These books are fascinating to me as a writer in that they appeal to all ages. It was a bonding experience, a way for mothers and daughters to connect, even when warring over curfew and whether those skinny jeans were too skinny. But isn't that the point? There was one thing they all could agree on: Edward was dreamy. And we've got some new want to go to the past. Choose your own teen adventure. Jazz Agers. Should you bob your hair, dance the Charleston, wait in a bread line? Some people claim teens don't want to read books set in the past, but such authors as Libby Bray, Scott Westfield, Anna Garberson, and Philip Pullman are bucking that notion, and after Judy Blundell's What I Saw and How I Lied, set in post-World War II 1940s, won the 2008 National Book Award for Young People's Literature, authors are taking another look at old times. Awesome 80s, love teasing your bangs and hanging at the mall. Anne M. Martin, The Babysitter's Club, The Summer Before. Ever what happened to Jessica and Elizabeth Wakefield? You know you did. Well, series creator Francine Pascal has Sweet Valley Confidential 10 years later, out in 2011 from St. Martin's with Diablo Cody's upcoming Sweet Valley High movie. Check it out. Hey you. You sure do like letter writing and uninterrupted doc monologues. You saw me before I saw you. That's the first line of Lucy Christopher's grim tale of abduction stolen from Chicken House, written in second person. I knew right from the start that I wanted to write this book in the form of a letter, says Christopher. Love the one you aren't with. So, has anyone else noticed that your best friend's boyfriend is super cute? The whole concept of forbidden love is so hot, says Susan Colancy of the predicament she places her main character in when poor Lanny falls for Jason, her best friend's boyfriend, in something like Fate out from Viking. They just connect right away. It's a way that's unexplainable but undeniable. But everyone knows there are certain lines you don't cross, says the author. There are these social rules and ethics, the unwritten rule, as it were, like the aptly titled recent release from Elizabeth Scott's, which tackled the very same concept. You don't steal your BFF's boyfriend. Love forever and ever. You get a strange feeling that the cute guy in the chem lab you've met before. Reincarnation just keeps coming back as a popular theme in youth fiction. It can suspend belief. It's one of those ideas that can explain a lot. Deja vu, phobias, special talents. Why we long for a place we've never been, says Kristen Miller, who's branching out from her middle grade Kiki Strike books to write the Eternal One series. Dark Flame. Death 101. So yeah, you're dead, now what? Admit it. As a teen, you envisioned your own funeral, your crush weeping over your casket, your mom feeling pretty bad about that last fight. Well, two authors of The Last Lonely Bones as takes on death, where the protagonist is dead and then sticks around to tell us about it, are guilty of the same funeral fantasy. Grief 101. Your sister, your best friend, your boyfriend, someone important has died, and now you've got to deal. I think sometimes we do forget that teens deal with death. Winter's Longing. You know, in today's, just my personal opinion, the teenager will buy all the rest of these books before they buy the grief book. They'll take the grief book out from the library, but they won't buy the grief book. Want to go underwater or into the future? Catch a wave. You're really, really into the ocean, a denizen of the deep. Schools of deep-sea creatures, merpeople, and sirens are swimming in young adult fiction these days. Maybe it's the Little Mermaid's influence, either that of the Disney movie or the darker, deeper Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale. Shipbreaker. End of days. Are you in the future? Is it awfully bleak? And this is another set of books that I had that I don't have anymore. The Christopher Pike vampire books. Class reunion. School's back in session. The Babysitter's Club. Christopher Pike, The Last Vampire. Betsy and the Great World. Betsy's Wedding. What's old is new again. As the youth genre expands, publishers aren't forgetting their roots. On a quick walk through the bookstore, you'll see lots of new offerings for teens. Sure, but you'll also spy some familiar faces. Or should I say covers? From fanfic writer to best-selling author, Karen Miller casts a spell on readers. Wizard Square, K.E. Mills. Actress, author, and sci-fi Australian Karen Miller is making a name for herself worldwide with her books, the latest of which, Wizard Square, is out now under the pen name K.E. Mills. Oops, there we go. I'm telling you, I could read this magazine forever. This is a good idea for a podcast. Books written by people that write soap operas. Cool beans. Time to go check it out. Yes, ma'am. Alright. Now, are we ready for the long haul? Because I'm going to get going with these books. Where is... you know, I had it here. Excuse me. Now I find it. Okay. I want to keep track of this. Let's see. Lisa KLEYPAS. Love in the Afternoon, 4.5 stars. Readers have fallen in love with the Hathaways, eagerly anticipating animal-loving Beatrix story. Unconventional, delightful, touching, and unforgettable are watchwords for this series, and KLEYPAS provides a marvelous love story with depths of emotion, timely themes, and a deep sigh ending. One of the things keeping Captain Christopher Felon alive in this cinema are the letters he receives from blonde beauty Prudence Mercer. When Prue mentions Christopher's letter about the regimental dog Albert, Beatrix does the unthinkable. She offers to write to him using Prue's name. His letters touch her, and their correspondence leads to her falling hopelessly in love. When Christopher returns home, he is wounded in body and soul, seeking peace and the love of a woman who wrote, "Find me." Believing it's Prudence, he ignores Beatrice, but soon it becomes obvious that Prue is too empty-headed to have been the letter's author. There is passion between them and desire, but even marriage cannot erase the horrors of war from Christopher's mind. Alright. GAELEN FOLEY, 4.5 stars. There we go. Sorry, the picture's bad. My Dangerous Duke. Enter the realm of Inferno Club, a band of noblemen who are wastrels by day and warriors by night, with everything from kidnapping to treasure hunts, alchemy to desire. This adventure romance sweeps the readers into an unforgettable twist on the Beauty and the Beast theme. Drugged and kidnapped by a band of smugglers hoping to ease the wrath of the Beast, aka Duke of Warrington, Kate Madsen refuses to surrender. Rowan Kilburn knows of the curse that haunts his family and devotes himself to serving the crown as an assassin of the order. Sent to quell the smugglers' revolt, he discovers his gift, intelligent and brave Kate is more than a peace offering. She may be the one to redeem him and break the curse. However, the truth of Kate's heritage and the secrets of her past lead them into a labyrinth where their enemy awaits to expose their weaknesses. Okay. Stephanie Lawrence. And if you go back and check my if-thens, the very first one I did, if you like this author, then maybe you'll like that author. And we said if you like the Bridgertons, you like Joanna Lindsay's Mallory's, and Stephanie Lawrence's The Sinsters. There's 30 books in this series, over 30 books now. We have your core group of 9. I talk about it. I did a whole video on that. Please go check that out. I did it last year. And then I talk about the Bastion Club and the Quartet and the Buccaneers. All those characters connected. All those characters are recurring. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Where are you going? So this is the Brazen Bride. This is part of the Black Cobra Quartet. It's one of the ones I was thinking about. And like I said, what'd you say? That's my couch you're picking on. 4.5 stars. The third volume of the Black Cobra Quartet is nothing short of incredible. These compelling stories have well-crafted three-dimensional characters who are passionate, honorable, and understanding, and the underlying power of love and the value of humanity. And all 4 of these books, just like the Buccaneers, it's amazing. You got to see the Buccaneers. They're like this thick. They're huge, 400-page books. And they're all written at the same time. Everything in those books is happening at the same time. And how she did it was miraculous. Because if it's going to happen at this time, let's say at 10 a.m. in this book, then it's got to happen at 10 a.m. in the other book too. And she's got to work around it so that everything conjives at 10 a.m. It's just marvelous. It's absolutely fantastic how she did it. And then after all that, after doing books that are worth solid 25,000 stars, she wrote the worst book in her career. I was waiting over 20 years for this book to come out, and it was the worst one in her career. Yes, ma'am. Come here. Come here. But these books here, the Sinsters, the Quartets, the Black Cobra, the Bastion Club, the Buccaneers, they're brilliant. They're absolutely gorgeous 10-star books, really. Regency, romance, adventure, they're fantastic books. Lord Monteith, en route to England with information vital to the government, is forced to abandon a sinking ship. Injured, unconscious, and suffering from amnesia, he is rescued by Lynette Trevisan. She tends his wounds, hoping he will regain his memory. Her leadership and strength increases Logan's respect and desire for her. As he regains his memory, Logan realizes he must complete his mission. Once Lynette is seen by the Black Cobra pursuers, he knows he must take her with him for protection. During their violent and unpleasant journey, they fall in love. Amanda Scott. Tempted by a warrior. There you go. 4.5 stars. Scott demonstrates her incredible skills by crafting an exciting story replete with adventure and realistic, passionate characters who reach out and grab you. All this is set against living history of the 14th century Scotland. Whispers surround the disappearance of Lady Fiona's ruthless husband, Will Jardine. Fiona has lost her memory after a vicious beating and knows nothing of Will's leaving, taking Sir Richard Satan, Laird of Kilth, has been charged as her guardian until Will is found. Unable to control her life or her lands, Fiona must place her trust in the Border Lord. Kirkill's honor demands that he protect Fiona from her enemies. His problem is keeping her safe from his growing desire. While I got itch. While it quickly becomes obvious that Fiona's life is in danger, unexpectedly the Kirkill appears to be a target. While determining the identity of their foes, they fall in love. Oh, I've got such an itch. And Miss Bridgerton herself, Julia Quinn. The 10 Things I Love About You. Got 4.5 stars. Sebastian Gray is 10 things you should know about this book. Sebastian Gray is a devilishly handsome rogue with a secret. Annabelle Winslow's family voted her the Winslow most likely to speak her mind and the Winslow most likely to fall asleep in church. Sebastian's uncle is the Earl of Newbury, and if he dies without siring an heir, Sebastian inherits everything. Lord Newbury detests Sebastian and will stop at nothing to prevent this from happening. Lord Newbury has decided that Annabelle is the answer to all of his problems. Annabelle does not want to marry Lord Newbury, especially when she finds out he once romanced her grandmother. 7 is shocking, 8 is delicious, 9 is downright wicked, and 10 is happily ever after. Annabelle Winslow is spending the London season with her grandparents in hope of landing a wealthy husband. Though she'd rather marry for love, Annabelle must save her family from penury. Her beauty and lush figure attract the Earl of Newbury. The portly nobleman wants an heir other than his nephew Sebastian Gray. Despite the chance that he will be penniless, Annabelle is far more attracted to the handsome young Sebastian than to the much older Earl. But she must put her family first, so Annabelle makes one choice of her famous list to help her make a choice. The courtships ensue as mayhem no less could predict. Okay. Julia Ann Long. I really need to. Oh, there it is. Julie Ann Long. I Kiss an Earl. There we go. Four and a half stars. Long surpasses herself with her latest Penroyal Green book, action and adventure meldly perfect with an emotionally powerful romance that leaves you breathless with wonder. Long displays talents for creating memorable characters and stories that captivate and enchant. Headstrong Violet Redmond proves that her family fortune doesn't make a lady, not when she's more intent on locating her missing brother Lion than finding a husband. The newly minted Earl of Ardmay, Captain Asher Flint, is no gentleman. Dubbed savage, he is still more interesting than any man Violet has met. An English bastard raised on the high seas, he's determined to catch the notorious pilot known as Lee Chat. He's convinced that Lee Chat and Lion are one and the same. So in order to persuade Flint of Lynn's innocence, Violet sneaks aboard his ship when he sails for Cadiz. Her loyalty to her brother, courage, sensuality, and intelligence captivate Flint, but he cannot give up his quest. But as they sail the high seas, the man with nothing to lose and the girl with the heart of a lion will end up risking everything for a chance to discover the truth. Anybody want to buy me these books? You can buy me these books. Jennifer Ashley. Ash. Jennifer Ashley. Lady Isabella's scandalous marriage. Right. Let's see if I can do that. Right there. Lady Isabella's scandalous marriage. Jennifer Ashley, 5 stars. Readers rejoice. The Mackenzie brothers return as Ashley works her magic to create a unique love story brimming over with depths of emotion, unforgettable characters, sizzling passion, mystery, and a story that reaches out and grabs your heart. Lady Isabella Scranton scandalized society at 18 by eloping with Lord Mackenzie, and then again 3 years later when she leaves the talented artist. But Mac has a few ideas as to how to bring her back into his life and his bed when she reappears in his studios. Isabella discovers someone is forging Mac's painting, and when she confronts Mac with her plans to catch the forger, she gets caught in his sensual web. Mac has wagered he can paint an erotic portrait, and Isabella is the perfect model. Their steamy sessions reawaken their long-buried desires, allowing passion to override the past and love to bloom again. EILEEN DREYER. Barely a lady. I need to keep a list. EILEEN DREYER. And barely a lady. Renowned contemporary author Dreyer makes the leap to historical romance with an emotionally powerful story that utilizes the fascinating backdrop of the Battle of Waterloo to enhance her unique plotline and intriguing characters' love story. Olivia Grace has lived on the edge of society since her scandalous divorce as an unobtrusive companion. She hides her identity while her employer visits Brussels on the eve of Waterloo. After the battle, Olivia is searching the front lines for wounded when she comes across her ex-husband Jack, Duke of Gracechurch. Worse, he's unconscious and wearing an enemy uniform. When Jack awakens, he has no memory of the last 5 years. He believes they are still happily married. To keep Jack safe until she discovers is Jack a hero or traitor. Olivia maintains the pretense of their marriage. Okay. Mary Blayney The Courtesan's Kiss. Right there. 4 stars. With the 4th in the Pen Stand series, Blayney crafts a powerful story with an outspoken modern heroine who wins readers' hearts. All of Blayney's characters leap from the pages and fully realize people you care about. Through the plotline is not new, the twist and depth of emotion turn something ordinary into unforgettable. The Ton has little use for a woman jilted by her fiancé, but Mia Castellano is not certain. She views this as her opportunity to be free of society's constraints. She plans to become a courtesan, a woman able to choose her lovers and her destiny, but first she must speak to her guardian. Lord David Penston has been charged with seeing Maya safely to Devonshire. From the beginning of their journey, Maya attracts trouble like a magnet. With each and every little adventure, David sees more of Maya, and by journey's end, he's fallen in love. Jane Feather. If anybody has the Sister of the Bride 7, Send it to Ah, rush to the altar. Rushed to the altar. Feather gives an overview of Covent Garden, bordellas and pickpocket siphons, and the sights and smells of the place, along with the aristocratic and not so aristocratic side of Bordy, Georgiana, England, in this nicely crafted start to the Blackwater Brides trilogy. Jasper St. Sullivan, Earl of Blackwater, and his two brothers are stunned at the conditions of their reprobate uncle's will. They will equally inherit his vast fortune only if they find, redeem, and marry a fallen woman before their uncle dies. When Clarissa Ashley accidentally runs into Jasper, he mistakes her for a pickpocket and prostitute, the perfect woman for the charade they will play, though an innocent Clarissa agrees to become his mistress. She doesn't tell him about her search for her young brother Francis or her efforts to escape the clutches of a nefarious uncle. Interesting. Janelle Taylor. In the Western. Hey, naked guy on cover. Taylor is back to writing what she does best, Native American romances. Her latest book is a fierce tale of forbidden love and raging passion. Writing is strong, the characters interesting, and the history rich with detail. The drums of war beat throughout the land. Storm Dancer is a prince among the Cherokee, designed to lead his people to victory. The coming war against the whites, but he will flaunt tradition for the woman who holds his heart. Shanna O'Shea, their spirits call to each other, and he will have her and none other, except that Shannon felt an outsider except in Dawn Dancer's arm. They meet as children, but now as adults, passion between them will not be quenched. Interesting. Adele Ashworth. I had this one too, if anybody wants to get it for me. Come on. Come on. I'm mad at myself for giving away all these books. There we go. The Duke's Captive. 4 stars. Playing a captive captor, erotic romance themes, Ashworth intrigues readers with a tale of revenge and heated passion. As she skillfully brings her characters to life, the story takes on new dimensions that propel the tale onward and enchant the reader. After claiming his title and fortune, Ian Wentworth prepares to marry and build a dynasty. He wants to banish the nightmare of being held captive for 5 years, drugged and chained to a dungeon wall by a group of women. Independent 23-year-old widow Viola Bennington James wants to forget her old life and raise her child. But when Ian re-enters her life intent upon revenge, though he wants to expose and imprison her, Ian discovers he is falling in love with her. What is it? Stockholm Syndrome? Alright, I did that. Okay. I didn't do that one. I think... No? No. No. I guess not. I thought there was a... I did that. Okay. Alright. So. That is historical romance. Oh, wait a minute. Let's do... Oh, there it is. history on this page, right? No. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's only 3 stars. I try and stick to 4-star books. That's only got 3. All right, though this one got 4. All right, let's do this one. Emma, companion. 4 stars. The King's Mistress. Companion's fascination with a forgotten woman led her to write a medieval lover's dream novel centering on Alice Paris. The story unfolds through the voice of a remarkable woman portrayed by historians of her time. As manipulative and power-hungry, Companion points a different picture that modern readers can easily identify. Alice is no different from many women, intelligent, lovely, and obedient. Thus, at 14, she marries the man chosen by her parents. Jane Perrin is a good, kind man, and their marriage is all she ever wanted. But Jane suddenly discovers a disappearance leaves Alice alone. She wonders about the secrets he kept that placed him in danger, and she fears for her life. She pleads for protection from the King Edward III and lives at court under constant watch. Alice's youth and beauty attract the king. Alice vows to survive, and if being the king's mistress and losing her reputation is what it takes, then she'll do it. Interesting. Want some adult situations? Contemporary romance. No, mainstream. Sorry, mainstream fiction. I said something and read something else. All right. Let's see. Kate, RACCULIA, mainstream. This must be the place. There we go. That one there with the balloon and the suitcase. This amazing debut is by it's got the top pick too. It's got the top pick. This amazing debut is by turns clever, funny, sad, and uplifting. It celebrates friendship, uniqueness, and people's capacity to both love and hurt others in their journey toward their destiny. RACCULIA skillfully explores how conflicting truth and secrets can converge with unexpected results. Once you reach the end, you may be tempted to start over again. How did I get all this stuff? Brilliant misfit teenager Anita lives with her mother Mona in a boarding house peopled with odd tenants. Arthur is drawn to the home by a neat, never-mailed postage card his wife had saved, and arrives with a box full of her keepsakes as attempts to find meaning in the storage items. The trio is caught up in shifting emotions, and certainly as Anita experiences her first crush and the vagaries of friendship at the same time that she starts resenting her mother for not telling her truth about her birth. Okay. You know, alright, y'all saw me put that pen down. What did I do with it? Alright, Robyn. CARR. And I'm almost positive too. That is a Y. There we go. A Summer in Samoa. 4.5 stars. Well-rounded characters, a plot rich in emotion and humor, and one sweet romance make this a great read. Not for the beach unless you're looking for something meatier than the usual fare. Four friends are at a different place in their lives. ER nurse Cassie is on a date that goes terribly wrong when she's rescued by Walt. The two become friends, but Cassie's looking for a man with ambition beyond being a mechanic. Julie and firefighter Billy are nearly bankruptcy with their fourth child on the way. Firefighter Joe is married to Marty, but he takes her for granted, making Marty's ex-boyfriend appealing. Dr. Beth is facing a second bout with breast cancer, along with her oncologist Gerard. Makes it clear that he's interested in more than treatment. Danny, come here, Sandy. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. How's my girl? How's my girl? How's my girl? There's my girl. How's my Sandy? So that's that one. I don't have that one. And I'm pretty sure I do. Fern Michaels. There we go. Game over. Fern Michaels. 4 stars. The latest in the long-running series shows Michaels still has plenty to say about the sisterhood ladies, who've overcome personal disaster and protect not only themselves but victims everywhere in a first-rate tale of politics, friends, and loyalty. Myra and Charles return from their shortened honeymoon as the ladies receive some unsettling news. Their friend and attorney Lizzie Fox, the chief White House counsel, is on shortlist for soon-to-be vacated seat on the Supreme Court. Though thrilled for Lizzie, they worry that her association with them could endanger their approval process, not to mention their pardons. Now they have to find out if the president is as good as her word, and if there's a sinister plot to destroy their friendship and bring down the sisterhood. Alright. Now, let me do this one. I just did a huge if then on Black authors. I mentioned mainstream authors. I did mainstream, I did romance, I did mystery, I did every kind of genre that I could find with the Black authors, and it was based on a couple articles, so you go back and watch why I did that. And this is one of the authors that I looked into. RESHONDA Tate Billingsley. Holy Rollers. I want to look this up. This is going to be a picture one. Um, 4.5 stars. Billingsley's sensational summer tale masterfully weaves her trademark style of humor, girl next door drama, faith, and romance, and she goes a step further. She makes you fall in love with the characters. And I think that's it for one more. Grace Octavia. Playing hard to get. Octavia's characters are individual with distinct voices, entertaining and packed with drama and original storyline. It's clear that Octavia is talented with a great imagination and storytelling. Tamia has a great job and boyfriend, but she's not happy and takes drastic measures to find her true self. Troy has intimate issues with her preacher husband that leave her frightened and unsure. Tasha is an unvalued stay-at-home mom married to an NBA player and in search of her own identity. Okay. And some graphic novels. Honorable mention. You are not going to find this stuff anywhere else. You really are not going to find this stuff anywhere else. This magazine is fantastic. Keyed Up, Melissa De La Cruz. Dark Flame. We saw that. That was that book. In. Do I have it? No. I don't have it. But I did. That's it. There. The Dark Flame. ALYSON Dark Flame. I swear that's up there. It got 3 stars. Well, readers will enjoy this anticipated installment in the Immortal series. It seems to drag on, and ever seems to be rather whiny as opposed to just taking action. The ending is interesting but a little too indistinct. This doesn't really live up to potential, but it's still worthwhile read. Ever is helping Haven transition into a life as an immortal, but with Haven drunk on her new powers, their friendship becomes more strained. Ever delves deeper into magic in order to free Damon from Roman's power, but after mistakenly binding herself to Roman, she's propelled toward him. Okay. Rachel Hawkins. It's here. Hex Hall. We're gonna do these 3. While this could have been another awkward outsider magic girl goes to woo-woo school story, Hawkins pulls it off with a great plot that gets twistier as the story progresses. It got 4 stars, by the way. She also manages to leave some plot points dangling for the second book while concluding enough to keep the reader satisfied. Banished from regular public school after a love spell for someone else goes wary at prom, Sophie Mercer is sent to magical delinquent school, Hex Hall. Half witch, half human, Sophie's never met her dad, who turns out to be a magical bigwig, who many at Hex Hall aren't huge fans of. Rooming with the vampire everyone is scared of and crushing on, the Queen's Bee's boyfriend turned out to be the least of Sophie's problems. Okay. And let's see. I don't see it. I thought they were done here. The Ghost and the God. That one. STACEY KADE. 4 stars. Stupendous young adult almost hits it out of the park. Troubled hero, secretly troubled heroine, nothing is as it seems in KADE's breakout debut. When Alana Dare meets her ultimate demise, hit by a bus while skipping first period, her life may be over, but her adventure has just begun. Although her now ex-boyfriend and now ex-best friend may be playing tonsil hockey in the halls, Elena has more important things to worry about. With the help of a sort of psychic goth, Will, Alana must change her mean girl ways and navigate what it means to be truly a friend. But will she be able to keep Will out of the psych ward long enough to help for him to save her? Don't know. Want some adult stuff? Lots of adult stuff. Sci-fi. Just got one here. And I've got some of her books. I don't have this one. Mercedes Lackey, Sleeping Beauty. Four stars. Fun and lighthearted romp through a variety of fairy tales is a hallmark of this series, and Lackey does not disappoint. Rosa is intelligent and practical-minded princess. The two heroes, Leopold and Siegfried, often wind up in a slapstick situation. Rosa is a princess of Altara, one of the wealthiest kingdoms, and as such, subject to extraordinary amount of attention from her neighbors and from tradition. That force that tries to make particular stories happen, in this case, is a combination of Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, and the Ring Circle. Okay. Inspirational. Laura FRANTZ. Lori FRANTZ. Where is it? There we go. Courting. Courting Moira Little, 4 stars. While there are familiar characters from Frantz's first book, this novel stands on its own. The vivid descriptions will bring the landscape to life, and the excellent writing will keep readers turning pages. Moira Little is coming home to Kentucky to be with her dying pa. When she was a little girl, a party Shawnee warriors killed her mother and took her brother. Now several men want her for a wife, but she is drawn to a forbidden love. She must choose between marrying the memory of her lost beloved ones or marrying a man she doesn't love. Okay. And Denise Hunter. The Driftwood Lane. There we go. 4 stars. Driftwood Lane is the 4th in a series, but stands on its own. Hunter makes each character significant and easily reliable to the reader. The spiritual theme comes at the end of the book when you are able to see the whole picture and can connect the main characters' love for each other and for Christ. When Meredith's estranged father and stepmother die in an accident, she leaves her fiancé and career at St. Louis to take care of her half-sibling she has never met and run her father's bed and breakfast. Jake learns of his sister's death and rushes to be with his niece and nephews. Sure that he can find evidence to prove that Meredith is an unfit guardian, Jake pretends he was hired to work at the inn, but he truly gets to know her and realizes her true motives. Aww. Well, she was his stepmother, right? So they're really not related. So that would be okay, right? One more for. Let me see how many stars she got yet. All right, she got 4 stars. So I'll do it. Let me write this down. Karen Kingsbury, and I'm sure you see her books constantly in the stores because she's still a massive writer. So take 4. The final book in the Above the Line series is a fitting conclusion. It's frustrating that Bailey and KADE are still not together, but the message is meaningful, the storyline touching, and after so many books, the characters are like family. Dane Matthews has joined Keith Ellison to make a movie of the book Unlocked. Bailey Flanagan auditions for a role in the film, not understanding that in addition to acting in the flick, God has plans for her. Brandon Paul, the actor hired to work with her, is known for his anti-Christian stance and his wild partying ways. Will Bailey's influence help lead him to God? All right. So on to romantic suspense. Romantic suspense. My favorite author, under her alias, my favorite author is J.D. Robb, Eve Dallas, New York Police and Security Department. There were over 60 books in that series. I did the entire series for last year, so please go check those out. I thoroughly enjoyed them. I do them in order, so follow the books in order with me. I do all the halves. I do all the novellas and everything, the whole series. So check that out. So this is Nora Roberts and The Search. Right there. 4.5 stars. Search and rescue dogs are focal point of this wonderful tale of love and adventure. Roberts has a marvelous ability to blend in the perfect amounts of character drama, realistic romance, and chilling suspense. The result, an unputdownable read. Roberts again proves why her name is synonymous with excellent. Fiona Burstro escaped from the Red Scarf serial killer and helped him behind bars. In the process, however, her cop fiancé and his canine partner were killed. Years later, she runs a dog training school and works as a search and rescue volunteer with her canines. Woodcarver Simon Doyle has a problem named Jaws. A gift from his mother, the unruly pup is driving him crazy. Simon needs help, and he helps Fiona can provide it. Terror draws near as a copycat killer wants to finish what the old one started. Colin Niggers, The Whisper. Four and a half stars. Write this down. Scoop Wisdom gets his own story and it's worth the wait. Well plotted with Nigger's trademark witty dialogue and crackling sexual tension. This is a keeper. Recuperating in Ireland from a bomb blast that nearly killed him, Boston detective Cyrus Scoop Wisdom meets archaeologist Sophie Malone. When he returns home, Scoop's focus shifts to catching the bomber, then to Sophie when she finds his prime suspect dead of an apparent suicide. But the scene was staged and Scoop needs Sophie's help in deciphering clues left by the killer. It's an uneasy alliance as sparks fly between them and a killer who's already threatened Sophie's life once waits for another chance. Interesting. And Catherine Garbera. The Pirate. The middle one. 4.5 stars. Pirates, politics, and sex are the big draws in this installment of the Savage 7 series, which has a tightly written, action-packed plot, sizzling sex, and a hero having women swimming. Ex-Navy SEAL J.P. Lazarus has lived his life on the edge and is using his expertise to pilot a tanker and lay a trap by the Salmies pirate. Also on board is a group of doctors, including Daphne Barrett, the ex-wife of U.S. Senator, as a humanitarian mission which increases the trip's danger. The mission seemed like a good way for Daphne to regroup after a nasty divorce, but she never anticipated becoming the target of pirates. Uh-oh. Those don't usually end well. Oh, I should put romantic suspense. Alright, and D. Davis. If anybody wants to buy me this one, you can buy me this one too. Because I do have quite a few of hers, but I don't have this one. D. Dangerous Desires. Right there. 4 stars. Rich in dialogue, this is fast-paced read. Like a previous book, this one has intricate heroine, strong heroine, intricate plot. Full of twists, turns, and near-death encounters. Readers will consume this quickly. Drake Flynn doesn't trust any woman as far as he can throw her, including Madeline Renault, who he's supposed to rescue and deliver to U.S. officials. Yet he's attracted to her like no other woman he's ever met. Madeline has spent her life trying to save her sister, even when it meant imprisoned in Colombia, then working for a crime lord. Okay. Maggie Shane. You know, I didn't even... I might have this. I didn't even look. I should have looked. Hi, Sandy. Come here, Sandy. Come here. Go look at Mommy's book. Can you read? Can you see if I have this over there? Killing Me Softly with his song. That was a huge song way back when. Oh, it only got 3 stars. No wonder I don't. Shane keeps things moving briskly, and the mystery at the core of the story is solid. However, the villain is much more interesting than any of the other leads. Okay. After a party celebrating his return to duty following a shooting, cop Brian Kendall wakes up on his bathroom floor. A few minutes later, he finds the woman he's been dating dead in bed. The crime has similarities to the murders of the nightcap strangler who recently died in prison. Brian's ex-girlfriend, Dawn Jones, hears the voices of the dead but has chosen not to listen to them. Okay. We'll see what happens there. Nancy Bush. Kept looking at this book, so I had to do it. 3 stars. Blind Spot picks up where Unseen left off with Mysterious Women of Siren Song. Bush creates multi-dimensional characters with terrible flaws, yet readers can empathize with them as they struggle to find answers and love, making their way through the challenges they face. While many of the characters are unlikable, the seemingly impossible romance and steadily tightening plot leads to a satisfying conclusion. Psychologist Claire Norris survived an attack from a patient but has resulted in the death of another woman, Langdon Stone's sister. Langdon blames Claire for protecting his sister's killer. Langdon investigates another man in brutal stab to death and his compassion. Pregnant young woman now comatose is taken to the mental hospital where Claire works. Okay. There's a lot going on in this book. Oh, itch. Alright, and the final, Laura Griffin. Oh, wait a minute. No, there's going to be two more. We're going to do the Gina Showalter and Lori. I would have put this other one under paranormal, but they put it in romantic suspense, which doesn't make much sense to me. So let's start with Laura Griffin. Unspeakable. Four and a half stars. Readers who've been waiting for a book featuring sexy true crime writer Troy Stockton, your time has come and you won't be disappointed. FBI profile Elena McCord is determined to prove herself first. Her first case puts her in sights of writer Troy Stockton. Troy is interested in the case of a young woman being drugged, murdered, and hidden in the local marshland. Increases when it's linked to an old case he's reported on. Okay. And this other one, and you know, it's gonna drive me crazy. I don't have it. But I did at one point, and it might be under somebody else. The Bodyguard. I know I had that book at one point. So, like I said, for me, I would put it under paranormal, but they have it under, they listed paranormal, but they have it under romantic suspense. I don't know why. It's an anthology. It's Sherry O'Dare, Gina Showalter, and Laurie Claire. And Laurie Claire is hot. 3 exciting and intriguing stories about people with extraordinary powers, how love can find a way no matter the circumstances. Declared dead 2 years ago, Dr. Michael Geese is alive and apparently working for a terrorist. T-Flack agent Sebastian Tremaine plans to stop her until he discovers the truth in Adair's temptation on ice. A staged abduction goes wrong in Showalter's temptation in shadows as Gabby Hunt ends up on the run from Sean Walter, who may just be the reason she's being hunted by those who would use her talents for their own benefit. Searching for a killer in Hunting Temptation by Eau Claire, which brings bounty hunter Seth Genra in contact with Jana Drury, unaware that both she and the killer are werewolves. Okay. Good. All right. Are you guarding my papers? All right. Shadow Zone. Shadow Zone. Iris Johansson. Let me write this down. Just trying to make sure I get my list right. Four and a half stars. Filled with pulse-pounding jeopardy, the story moves at a brisk clip as the protagonist race to stop an enemy before he causes a global catastrophe. Submersible designer Hannah Bryan has teamed up with Melis Nemeth, the discovery of the underwater ancient city of Marith, in an attempt to learn what destroyed that civilization. On the brink of success, Hannah and Melis discover an ancient artifact that could unlock the secret, only to have it stolen by an arms merchant, Vincent Gader. The one man who can help them retrieve it is the mysterious and deadly Crow, who previously saved Hannah's life. As they track the artifact, they learn that it may be the final piece in a puzzle. Interesting. I thought I owned this. So if anybody wants to get me this one too. Resilient Isles. Have you watched the TV show? I could have sworn I saw it someplace. It's going to be small. Oh, there it is. It's going to be really small. There we go. This one right here. Ice cold. 4.5 stars. Garrison pulls out all this stops in her breathtaking Resilient Isles novel. The bite of desperation, unforgiving climate give the danger a chilling edge. Dr. Maura Isles and friends have an accident en route to a ski resort. They walk for help to the snowbound village of Kingdom Come. The residents seem to have vanished into thin air, leaving food on the tables and bloodstains in at least one home. The someone in the woods is watching. Detective Jane Rizzoli is horrified to learn that Maura's charred remains have been found in a wrecked vehicle, but new information sends her to Wyoming to investigate. Interesting. Where are you? There you are. Rick Mofina. Panic Zone. This is the second one that had panic in the 4.5 stars. Mofina is on top of his game, pulling together a wickedly complicated plot with great skill and assurance. Jack Gannon is investigating a cafe bombing in Rio that claims several lives, including a WPA reporter and photographer. Were they collateral damage or the bomber's targets? Gannon's research for the truth takes him eventually to Emma Lake, whose husband and son recently died in a car crash, or did they? Emma is certain she saw someone save her baby, but no one believes her except Gannon, who knows of another missing children. There's also a possible connection to a rogue scientist whose continued work on concept more deadly than simple biology warfare. Okay. Corin Slaughter. 4.5 stars. Broken. Slaughter's reputation for dark and compelling tales of criminal investigation and personal tragedy is well deserved in the newest Grant County story. A first-class, perfectly paced mystery shadowed with dark emotion and laden with guilt and corruption. Slaughter at her best. Special Agent Will Trent arrives in Grant County to investigate the death of a prisoner, only to find the local PD isn't cooperating. He knows Officer Lena Anderson is hiding something and that it goes beyond her role in the death of Police Chief Jeffrey Tolliver. He's also got his hands full handling the chief's widow, Dr. Sarah Linton, who's not only in the middle of an investigation but still carrying a grudge against Lena, who was also in love with Tolliver. The department is also looking into a young woman's murder that may be connected to a prisoner's death. Wow, a lot going on in that book. Lots. Lisa Gardner. 4 stars. 4.5 stars. Live to Tell. The lives of 3 women collide in Gardner's amazingly chilling news thrill, told in both first-person, third-person, and first-person perspectives. Boston police D.D. Warren is called to the scene of what looks to be a murder-suicide. However, the evidence calls that theory into question and leads to a pediatric psychiatric ward where nurse Danielle Burton works as the sole survivor of her own family's murder by her father. Daniela has her own ghost to confront. When a second family murder is murdered, Dee finds the trail leads back to the psych ward and horrified Daniela. Okay. And I did most of these last year. I thoroughly enjoy Sarah Booth and her Tinky and Pluto and the cats and the dogs and the ghost. So please check these videos out too. I did most of them. I thoroughly enjoyed the series. I'm waiting for the next one to come out. Bon appetit. A thoroughly entertaining installment in the Sarah Booth Delaney series. The plot is solid, the killer's motives believable, and the red herrings are convincing, and the end is delightful. Sarah Booth is still recovering from her miscarriage when her friend and business partner Tinky signs both of them up for vacation. Tinky doesn't know that the hotel is also hosting a beauty pageant, but their friend Cece is thrilled to get Tinky's candid photos of the contestants for the newspaper. When someone starts poisoning the top contendants, Sarah Booth and Tinky are on the case. And another series that I started to do, and I will do and will review as they come up and be published. Donna Andrews. I'm looking for some of those books if anybody wants to send them to me. I'm trying to compile them all. 4 stars. Meg Langzo, and she's 8.5 months pregnant in Andrew's latest installment when a college administrator is killed. Meg will have to do some quick sleuthing before chaos erupts. Meg is housing displaced students along with the Roman Soto, one of her husband's graduate students. After the dean of the English department announces that Raymond can't do his dissertation on his chosen subject, he is found dead in one of Meg's rooms, and she helps Chief Burke solve the mystery. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. What? I recommend these books highly. Mommy likes Meg Langso. And Chief Burke and Rosewar, her cousin, and the fermenting everything, and her mom. Oh, her mom, the Christmas books. I love the Christmas books. They're so much fun. Alright, so that's the end of mystery. We'll do a couple of contemporary romance. Joan Ross, contemporary. The Homecoming, 4 stars. It isn't often readers find characters they're willing to spend a weekend with. However, that's exactly what Ross accomplishes in The Homecoming. The Homecoming enveloping the reader in the lives of 2 endearing, albeit flawed characters. The result is entertaining Stace Shelter Bay with two captivating people involved in compelling mystery on their path here. Sheriff Kara Conway has left her husband since she was 8 years old. After he was killed in the line of duty, she slowly puts her life back together and builds a stable home for her son. Moving home to Shelter Bay, where there isn't much crime, seems like the safest choice until Sax Duchette returns as a war hero. His presence alone is dangerous for her heart. Aww. And Linda Leah Miller. McKettricks of Texas. I love the series. I showed all 3 of them last video. The tale of Austin McKettrick, the youngest brother, brings trilogy to a close, and while it's completely predictable, it's also completely wonderful. Austin's interactions with Paige are fun and lively, and the mystery that begins Tate's story ends with Austin's. Paige Remington is going through a rough patch. She's the bridesmaid in her sister's duel ceremony and having nightmares about her ugly dress. She's temporarily unemployed and her house is being renovated. When Austin comes after conquering the bull that almost killed him, she's forced to play nice with the man that broke her heart. Then Austin is shot. She's hired by his brothers to be his nurse. Aww, I can see that storyline coming. Linda Leo Miller. And our final one, Celeste O'Norfleet. Heart's Choice. Right there. Four stars. Norfleet writes characters to root for. Her heroine is vulnerable and loving, and Devon is just the man for the job. It's a challenge to keep the story fresh in continuing series, and Norfleet accomplishes that here with EILEEN. NFL star Devon Haynes is done with the groupies who have dragged him from his early days. Now he's on a mission to get married. He approaches matchmaker extraordinaire Melanie Hart for help. Her track record with rich and famous is legendary. Recovering from the loss of her mother and brother, award-winning entertainment Giselle Richardson is content to stroll on the beach in Sag Harbor. See what happens there. Okay. Paranormal Romance. Christina Dodd. Chains of Ice. 4.5 stars. In the 3rd chapter of the Chosen One series, both of Dodd's protagonists' lives have been dramatically altered by connection to the Gypsy Travel Agency. There is a Beauty and the Beast vibe in this tale that has plenty of action and intense emotion. John Powell's life story reads like a horror novel, but he thought he'd found a home in the Gypsy Travel Agency and its mission to find the Chosen. An op gone terribly wrong sends John into exile into the remote Ural Mountains of Russia. Jenny Valentine's life is scarred by her father firing from the agency for her law school graduation. Jenny's father offers her a dream trip to Rasputin to join a study on the rare Ural lynx. There is one catch. Jenny must contact the hermit like John and convince him to return. Okay. What? Oh, it's here. Okay. And Mary Janice Davidson. Please go see my video on Queen Betsy and the shoes and the Milanos and the shoes. Vampires and shoes. Undead and Unfinished, 4.5 stars. Although Queen Betsy is as sarcastic and hilarious, self-involved as always, the underlying tone of this series continues to darken in potential horror story. It's fascinating to see where Davison takes this. Still reeling from her encounter with the werewolves, Betsy is not in the mood to deal with the devil, but her half-sister Laura, aka the Antichrist, needs Betsy's moral support on her visit to hell. Betsy figures she should get something out of the trip, so she bargains with the devil to gain the ability to read the Book of the Dead without going insane. I remember this. The shoes. Heather Graham. Now, for me, the last place I'd put Heather Graham is paranormal, but that's apparently where she ends up. Ghost Shadow. 4 stars. The first book in a new trilogy. Graham's latest is a macrae and humorous. Great for the beach, especially if you like something a bit different. A decade ago, photographer David Beckett left Key West under the shadow of suspicion. The former fiancée, Tanya Bernard, was found dead in the wax museum owned by his family, and now the killer was never caught. Now he's returned just in time to prevent small business newswoman and ghost whisperer Kate O'Hara from realizing her long-held dream of buying the museum. David convinces an old friend, now a police lieutenant, to reopen Tanya's murder as an old case. Not long afterward, a stripper is murdered and her body is displayed in a different museum. Is it a copycat crime or has the original killer returned? Oh, Mr. Clock. Gina Showalter. The Darkest Lie. Part of the fun of 4 stars. Part of the fun of the newest Lords of the Underworld book is translating Gideon speak. For this hero is cursed with the demon lies. Showalter also gives readers a deeper look into several of the gods and their roles in the dark drama. An extra dollop of poignancy gives this romantic adventure an emotional edge. As the Keeper of Lies, Gideon cannot speak the truth without experiencing debilitating pain. Luckily, his friends are used to his speech patterns, make sure it wreaks havoc on his love life. Gideon is flummoxed when a woman named Scarlet, Keeper of the Nightmare, shows up claiming she is his wife. Too bad Gideon can't remember her. Okay. Uh, Damn it. I know I have. There's a couple of these that I know I have. I just can't find it. It's driving me crazy. So there'll be a couple of these. We'll do Cynthia, Eden, I'll Be Slaying You, 4 stars. A cross between Buffy and Eve Dallas, fierce Slayer Dee uses her haunted past to protect the city. Dee and her vampire lover are not enough to burn Rita's fingers in this enthralling, are hot enough to burn Rita's fingers. Vampire Slayer Sandra Dee Daniels is a different kind of heroine. She haunts in the dark and protects the innocent from things that go bump in the night until things get bumpy. With Chase's help of the sexy Simon Chase, she begins understanding her destiny to become one of the genetically altered humans who die with young and return a vampire. With another born on the loose looking to take over, it's up to Dee and a merry band of fighters to stop. Nancy Gideon. I have some of hers. I just don't have this one. Chased by Moonlight, 4 stars. In the second of back-to-back releases in a compelling Moonlight series, Gideon tests the availability of the burgeoning relationship between a protagonist. She does a terrific job with her world building as her characters and readers discover dark and hidden secrets. With her lover, shapeshifter Max Savoy now in charge of the deceased boss's empire, Detective C.C. Casey is working a fine line. The murder of Max's daughter, political enemy of Max's, places him at the top of the suspect list. To protect Mac and his shapeshifter secrets, Cece must follow her superior's orders and distance herself while she works with the brutal case. Pamela Palmer. I also have these. I can't find it anywhere. Jag is the latest feral warrior fighting for his life and love in Palmer series. Olivia is a fierce and beautiful as previous heroines continue a steady stream of passion in these novels. Once Olivia has a Drayden kiss since she was a young girl, able to feed off others' energy without them being harmed, until she meets Jag, a feral warrior no one has ever noticed. When Jag finds out her secret, she is stuck under his control, fearing that he will give her up and her life will be ended. They'll both feel attraction. They fight it till the end. Okay. Meg Cabot, Insatiable, 4 stars. This incomparable Cabot gives her own twist to the Dracula legend with a quirky and humorous tale that both skewers and embraces vampire fiction. Cabot takes a heroine with her own paranormal issues and gives her a vampire headache. As a dialogue writer for a daytime soap, Insatiable, Mina Harper hopes for promotion. Instead, she gets a new boss and her new storyline, Vampire. Mina disgusted by the Me Too plotline but has few options. Plus, she has a secret talent. She always knows when someone is going to die. Mina meets tall, dark, and handsome Lucian when he saves her from a bad attack. Little does she know that Lucian was the target and a vampire war is brewing. Interesting. Oh. Another lady that we will be doing soon, and who also got a few books coming out this next couple of months. And it happens to be this particular series. The next book in his life is coming out. Nick. And I've asked her a few times if Nick and Ash will ever make up, and she avoids the end. She won't tell it because it will be a spoiler. 4.5 stars, Infinity. Uber talented Kenyon is sure to delight legion of fans with the new terrific prequel series Chronicles of Nick. He's a Nick Gautier, the part of Nick's future destiny is already known, adds poignancy to this excellent tale as the past, present, and potential future collides. At 14, Nick is a bit nerdy and definitely sarcastic. Not getting pounded on by his members of his football team is his biggest worry, until some high school mates try to kill him. Nick is saved by Kyrian Hunter, who offers him a job running errands after school. Things really get weird when members of the football team turn into living zombies. Suddenly, Nick is thrust into a world filled with dangerous creatures of myth and legend. And the situation with Ash, if you've read the entire series, that's the one thing that's going to bug you the entire series. And I still ask her every Thursday night when she does her podcast, and she avoids answering me every Thursday night. So we'll see what happens there. And Alison Brennan. Oh. Carnal Sin. 4.5 stars. Carnal Sin kicks butt. Every character, including the secondary ones, is fresh and compelling. Every scene is gripping and wrought with tension. Layers of love, duty, survival, and judgment complicate the already difficult lives of Nora and Rafe as they battle for the sake of humanity and work to uphold their oaths and promises. Having put envy away, lust is on the loose and wreaking havoc in LA. The demon lust seems to be attached to a sex coven operating out of a local nightclub. Men are dying in the act of sex with a demon mark left on their bodies. Maroya, Odell, Rafe, and Cooper, friends, head to LA to uncover the connection to the coven and wind up once again facing internal and external demons to save humanity. Yeah. Chloe Neal. Twice Bitten. 4.5 stars. Vampires and shapeshifters abound in this next installment of Neal's addictive Chicagoland vampire series. Emotional tensions run high in this book, which has feisty newbie vampire Merritt sorting out her relationships. Neal continues to hit the sweet spot with her blend of high-stakes drama, romantic entanglements, and a touch of humor. With vampire outed to humans, the shapeshifters are concerned that they will be next. Gabriel Keene, apex of the North American Central Shifters, has called for a convocation of the packs to decide what their future holds. Despite their uneasy history with vampires, Gabriel has requested that Merritt and Master Ethan attend added security. Word is that someone is gunning for Gabriel, which means Merritt is in for a tough assignment, and having Ethan in close proximity, the sexual tension. Now, 2 of her books are done in here. I've only got 1. I don't ever remember hearing of the second one, but it's pictured here. So we'll do this one first. I have all the Kitty books back there. Kitty Goes to War, Carrie Vaughn, 4.5 stars. For once, the government needs intrepid werewolf Kitty's help. Vaughn takes a PSD and gives it a new twist in the latest Kitty's adventure. Cormac also welcomes a return, adding even more things to the worry in Kitty's already complicated life. Vaughn's deft touch of characterization and plot development has made this series hugely entertaining. Life is never dull for Kitty Norville, and this week no exception. Not only has Kitty gotten sued by CEO Speedy Mark for suggesting there is something strange going on in the chain, she has also been asked by the government for help with some soldiers. A squad of werewolves were working in Afghanistan, but when the alpha was killed, the pack fell apart and now killings have begun. Kitty hopes to find a way to help the survivors. Speaking of survivors, Cormac is now out of jail and restarting his life, but Kitty and her husband Ben are concerned, for Cormac seems a little different. See what happens there. And it's pictured. Let's see if I can find it. I don't have it, but maybe it's the other way. There it is. The other one. Discord Apple. 4 stars. In a departure from her Kitty Norville series, Vaughn steps into the world of fantasy mythology with her new novel. This modern-day fairy tale explores a world on the edge of precipice, while incorporating characters from myth, magic, and comic books. There's a feeling of impending doom that gives Vaughn's story its uniquely tense and edgy feel. Upon learning that her father is dying of cancer, comic book writer Evie Walker leaves LA for her hometown of Hopes Fort, Colorado. While Evie feels that her world is crashing down around her, reality the entire world is on edge as draws nearer to a nuclear conflict. As Evie tries to cope by continuing work on her latest comic book, she's confused by the appearance of odd strangers who arrive at her father's door requesting objects from Walker's basement storage room. One man, calling himself Alex, claims to have been cursed with immortality by the god Apollo. Alex warns that Hera is after an object from the mysterious storeroom too. Okay. Alright, and do they do this one? Sometimes they do stuff and they don't do stuff. Let's see if it's here. Yes. Jocelyn Drake, Pray for Dawn. And I went nuts looking for this because I could have sworn I had it. JOCELYNNNDRAKE. 4 stars. In the 4th outing of the Dark Days series, Drake shifts the first-person narrative from Vampire Mirror to Vampire Hunter Dangus. The change of perspective gives a different view on events and their friendly relationships. Hunter Danos is truly conflicted by his reactions to Mira. For millennia, Danos has killed vampires, believing they were truly evil. But with the return of the Naturi and their quest to wipe humanity from the face of the earth, vampires and Lycans must ally than the enemy. Danos returns to Mira's domain, Savannah, because of the murder of the senator's daughter. Was the killer a vampire, or was it someone trying to bring vampires to the knowledge of the population? So we'll see what happens there. And let's do a few quick Harley Quinns. I love our Harley Quinns. Lee Mackenzie. Firefighter Daddy. Firefighter Mitch Donovan is a devoted father trying to adjust to a life after the tragic death of his wife, Renaud. Or Miss Sunshine to her students, is his daughter's teacher and his mother's tenant. As proud of her hippie roots as he is befuddled. Mitch and Roy are as different as night and day. As they get to know each other, Roy is not sure she is ready to be the mom to one small child. Mackenzie's characters are warm and inviting and keep the reader entertained. Millie Milbourne, the Melendez Forgotten Marriage. Four stars. When a near-fatal accident causes Emilia Melendez to forget the last 2 years of her life, her husband Javier despairs of her remembering who he is. But as her memory returns, Emilia recalls some hard truth about the relationship. Melanie Milbourne. And Blaze. The Family Plan, Susan Cable. Four and a half stars. Desperate to save her young daughter, Jordan, Dr. Amelia Young tracks down the sperm donor she used 13 years ago. Chef Finn Hawkins, she sought to be approached when he asked to remain anonymous. Finn eventually agrees to help out with a second donation so that Amelia can give birth to a full-blooded sibling and use the cord to save Jordan from cancer. Okay. Oh. And Body Heat, Adrian Bird. 4.5 stars. Totally hilarious with great characters, a strong plot, and scorching hot love scenes. This story entertains from beginning to end. While visiting his vacation home, bachelor Hillen Dawson finds out he's had a wife for 18 months, only he hasn't met her yet. Struggling playwright Nicole Jamison endures the humiliating and costly night of her life when her latest play fails minutes after opening. When she hears Helen's vacation home, which she rarely visits, she goes there and since she's broke, pretends to be his wife. Okay. And I think let me just look and see what's here. I gotta cross this out. I don't have this anymore. Opal Carew Bliss. 4 stars. Karu's hot story of sexual explorations and emotional growth has plenty of sizzle and will appeal to those looking for contemporary erotic romance. Sexual columnist Karma surprises herself when she feels sparks and succumbs to a one-night stand with a while traveling to a sex conference. The next day, she's embarrassed and surprised when she learns that JM, her one-night stand, is a featured speaker at the conference. Oh, So, there's some more. So that's it. 2 hours. I hope you stuck through it. We went through a lot of books. We probably went over, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So 30, 60, 67, almost 70 books. So thank you for sticking with me if you stuck with me all this time. It's been a couple hours. I hope you will peruse this, and I hope you will get some new authors from it. I think we conquered everybody. Yep, there's nobody behind me. We conquered all the books. So please hit the like and subscribe. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you.